Right.
Oh, Jim got in trouble. Nah.
Moving right along.
All right. So
Your
now's
daughter
the
give you dirty looks for a week?
Moving
right.
right along.
So now the part of our cast we're gonna move over and we're gonna talk about Harley Quinn and only Harley Quinn from now on. We're gonna try to go over both things. We're gonna talk about the Birds of Prey movie, something all three of us have actually seen this time,
Yay.
and a little bit about the Harley Quinn animated series. I watched it all the way through. Did you guys watch? How much animated did you watch?
I saw the whole season.
Yeah, I again did not complete my homework assignment. I stopped at 2, but that's
Oh,
okay.
How far did you
I
get?
don't mind
that's
spoilers.
all
You
right.
guys, we can talk.
Right.
No, but how far did you get, Jim?
Episode 2.
Ooh,
That was
wow.
it? Damn it.
So you didn't even get to the best parts.
I know, man. It starts to get good.
Okay, we can talk about it.
All right. Anyway, so we're gonna talk about the Birds of Prey. The first. Blah, blah, blah. So let me go. The Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn, otherwise known as Harley Quinn: Birds of Prey, because it was changed because I don't know, marketing. So this.
Which,
Sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, I was just going to say that's pretty much what the movie is. Harley Quinn. And over there is the Birds of Prey.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like Batman, Superman, Dawn of Justice.
You're
Was
right.
it really the Dawn of Justice? Hey, look, guys, Wonder Woman's going to show up here in a minute. Just give us a minute. But it wasn't a Birds of Prey movie. I think they thought it sounds cool. Birds of Prey sound cool. It's all women. Nobody cares. So I think that's kind of what went into that. Because remember, they were talking after Suicide Squad that they were going to do Gotham City
Yep.
Sirens.
I remember that.
And then they were talking about doing Birds of Prey, and then I think it all got squished into one thing, and that one thing was this movie.
I mean, you forget the other stuff too. The other movies didn't do as well as they expected, other than Aquaman. So they had to scale back a lot of those plans and get to like maybe 1 or 2 movies.
Well, let's actually before we start this. So, do you guys know where the Harley Quinn character came from?
Yes, I do. Mike?
No, I don't think
Yeah,
I
if
do.
I'm correct, it's the Batman animated TV show in the 90s.
That's correct.
Circle gets the square.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
So,
I know the character from the series,
yes.
but I didn't know that's where she started.
Yeah, so back in '92 in the Batman animated series, Paul Dini and Bruce Timm actually created Harley Quinn as a one-shot character, basically.
Yeah.
A Joker's sidekick that actually one of the few or only times that a television animated character basically broke out from her medium and got put into the comics. So originally she was just a sidekick and with some pretty weak background. And I just find that interesting as a character, how she's grown or how they've grown her from just kind of this, hey, we need somebody who kind of looks like it. They belong with this bad guy to their own character.
Right.
And I think what we're seeing in both of these, the movie and the TV show, is that whole growth is actually kind of continuing with this character.
Yeah, good point.
So
Yeah, I agree.
so in this movie, you've got Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie, Renee Montoya, played by Rosie Perez, the Huntress, played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Black Canary, Journey Smollett Bell, Ewan McGregor plays Roman. I can't even say his last name. Sionis,
Black Mask.
otherwise known as Black Mask. Those are your top level guys.
No, what about Cassandra Cain?
And oh, I'm so sorry. You are right. Cassandra Cain, played by Ella J. Basco. I don't know how I could have forgot that. And
Did you mention Black Canary?
and
Victor Zaz.
Zaz, played by Chris
Yeah.
Messina.
Mm-hmm.
And there's lots of good character acting in this, but it's a big cast actually for a movie that is about a single character mostly. It has a large top line cast.
Large ensemble.
So it's actually a quick one sentence breakdown. After splitting with the Joker, Harley Quinn joins superheroes Black Canary, Huntress, and Renee Montoya to save a young girl from an evil crime lord. I don't know how accurate that
I
synopsis
don't even
is.
call them superheroes, but yeah.
They weren't. They were all right. So
Only I would say the only one with powers is Black Canary, right? And
it's like calling Batman a superhero. They're
right.
they're heroes that are in the superhero universe. So.
Yeah, and I had
Remember, Batman's power is he's rich, right? So
right. So I think we want to try and get a top level non-spoiler feedback from each of us about this
so we're
movie.
not going to spoil the movie today.
Oh, we will, but I just want to get a top line non-spoiler feedback, and then we'll go right into spoilers. We're not going to discuss the movie without spoilers, but I just want anybody who wants to know, should I see this movie? Just give them what your feedback, would be.
sure.
So, Mike, do you want to start?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I went to see this movie. The trailer looked interesting to me. I didn't know. I was a little disappointed in Suicide Squad, but I thought Margot Robbie did a good job anyway. So I figured, I'll go see it. And it did not disappoint. I thought it was good. I wish I had. I wish there was more focus on the actual Birds of Prey. And like I said, it was seemed to be more Harley Quinn focused, this movie, which was fine because she did a fantastic job. And I thought the action was great. I thought the story was okay. Definitely recommend it if you want to go see it. Right? What else can I say about it? There was a lot of cringe violence moments for me. I don't know about you guys, but there was a lot of parts when I was like, "Oh man!" Like you could feel it.
No, there were a lot of those.
Yeah. So, but overall, I would say like I'd give it a B.
Good. All right. James, what's your initial takeaway?
Yeah, I keep it shorter than Mike. I see this as perhaps this is DC's version of Deadpool, with the rated R, the adult content, and the hijinks and action sequences and comedy and humor, yet with the
and fourth wall breaks.
with the central character that basically carries the entire movie. Whereas Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds carried not just the character, but the first movie and the second movie. I think same thing with Margot Robbie carrying both her character as well as the entire movie. And I came in thinking the worst of this movie and left better than I thought. Gave it a B minus.
Nice. So I threw my initial reaction up online, but my top level takeaway was this felt like a comic book in the best way possible. It was bright and interesting and a little crazy like the main character. And I felt every character had something that I found interesting. And yes, very heavy cringe violence, painfully cringe violence. Not like ew, but like ow. So yeah, I was leaning B plus, I think, if I were to grade it like you guys. I was having a trouble giving it an A, and I don't know why, because I really did enjoy coming out of this thing.
We can get to why when we get to spoilers, but yeah.
All right, so I'm just gonna play the spoiler warning and get right into it.
Can I help you?
Why, yes, you can. I'm here to report a terrible crime.
I don't know, sir.
Of course you don't know. You don't know because only I know.
Don't care how I want it now.
Shit, is that a hyena in a bathtub? I named him Bruce after that hunky Wayne guy.
So, I think let's start by talking about
who directed this movie.
All right, that's a good idea, Mike. Sorry. So it's just directed by Kathy Yan, written by Christina Hodson. I think Christina Hodson wrote Bumblebee, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And let's see here. Kathy Yan has directed this and a lot of shorts. So, those are producers. Lots of a couple of short movies. So
but
nothing.
You know what? Good job, because like Jim was saying before, it did have a Deadpool feel, like a Tim Miller type direction to it. I don't know if you guys agree, but
yeah. Well, I know
that's what I felt.
Margot Robbie was a executive producer on this, and I know she really, after Suicide Squad, really got into this character. So I would think
Yeah.
together they definitely had an idea what they wanted out of this character. But it did show that there was great directing all around from this movie.
Especially the fight scenes.
I'm gonna.
Fight choreography was probably the best I've seen in
Hmm.
DC, including Wonder Woman. I have to say.
Oh yeah, the fight.
Yeah, and especially coming from non-powered heroes, right?
Well, the
It's
fight
like
core.
regular kick-ass, you know.
Well, apparently they brought in the choreographers from the company from John
Yeah.
Wick, who did
Yeah.
John Wick, and that definitely
Yes.
shows. I mean, I felt Renee Montoya, Rosie Perez, was doing more damage than Jessica Jones in any of her scenes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That's true.
So yeah, the action is definitely a standout, and I think anybody walking out of there who's that's their first. I think everybody's first response was, "Wow, there the action was top to bottom great," and I haven't heard any complaints about that. But I think we want to get into some of the story here. An interesting thing about this movie, so it's based on uh, uh, Harley Quinn basically breaking up with the Joker, and the Joker's as a character, he's not in this, but he's kind of this haunting figure throughout the entire movie. Um,
Right.
he's he's mentioned quite a bit, and what I found really interesting about that is I didn't really at any time go, "Oh man, I wish I saw the Joker there." You just know the way everybody's acting with the idea of the Joker being there or not
No,
being there.
that's the thing. I didn't miss Joker. I didn't miss Batman in this movie. You know.
Yeah, I agree. I
Right.
didn't miss either of those two characters because, you know, again, you sold me on the idea this is her way of breaking up from the Joker in particular. And as far as Batman is concerned, I think these were like low level crime syndicates anyway, so it wouldn't be after we've seen him in
Right.
Justice League, what is he doing now? Chasing mob bosses? It's kind of ridiculous.
Right.
I think the setup on the story, as far as not involving those two characters, was done okay. But yeah, Chris, that's
So this movie plays out as basically Harley Quinn telling you the story about this situation. She does a voiceover throughout the movie. Um, the movie bounces quite a bit timeline wise. What did you guys think of those two decisions? Did you feel lost at all, or did you feel that the voiceover kept you intact? Did you feel like you lost something in the moving around in the timeline? What did you guys think?
I mean, I myself, I'm a fan. Yeah, I'm a fan of that because I know Quentin Tarantino and other directors have used this storytelling device, some more effectively than others. But I think in this movie, the director used it pretty okay. I think it kept us
Hmm.
entertained, even when there were some dead moments, and they were a lot.
See, yeah, and I think the good thing was we had Margot in the back in the narration going, "Well, take a look at what happened at this time,
Yeah.
right? Or at this
Or
point."
before we get to
So
this,
that kind
let
of
me
helped.
let me retrace a step and show you what happened before that. And then you're like, oh, okay. Yeah, you
Right.
expounded on something without over
So, like, compare it to
exposition.
The Witcher, where it would just happen, and
Right,
you'd be like, "Whoa, where am I now?"
Perfect,
Right?
Mike. That was perfect.
So,
right.
mm,
No. Well, and like Deadpool didn't quite do this much. It was basically two stories, two time periods, and you go back and forth between those. This was definitely more of a, hey, this character will tell you this story, but when she tells it, man, she's gonna bounce around a little bit, and I felt it really was in character. I think the story structure really didn't feel I didn't never felt lost, and I never felt like what was happening didn't belong in the story. I felt like it kept you really involved, and everything you watched was part of it.
I think for me, it added more to it. Not just that it kept me involved and kept the structure, but it added more, kept me more intrigued and interested in watching the movie. It was a plus, a huge plus for me in watching this.
All right. So the other thing, let's talk about Harley Quinn. Let's talk about Margot Robbie. I thought she really kept the character. I don't want to say grounded. That's not the word I'm looking for. Like, I've been kind of comparing it in my head to the Joker movie, and I know that not in the sense that those two belong in the same universe. Those are two completely different universes. Those two wouldn't date each other. What I'm
Right.
saying is that she inherited, she embodied the Harley character as well as I felt.
Joaquin Phoenix.
I almost said River Phoenix. Oops.
Joaquin Phoenix.
As well as I thought Joaquin embodied his character. And I know that's weird because I don't. It's not like an Oscar level performance from her, but I felt she really did know this character
But
and
I
stick with
disagree.
it.
I thought her performance was fantastic.
Oh no, I think it's fantastic. It's just like
Yeah, they're not gonna bring. Just so the problem is, this film is not artsy enough
yeah, no, I
for
agree.
her to be nominated. But I would say if she could get one, I think she would. She should definitely be nominated
Yeah,
for
but
that.
understand this was her second take of this character in the second movie. So the fact that her first attempt in a Suicide Squad, which was an ensemble, you didn't really. I mean, she stood out, her and Will Smith, but she was still part of a larger cast. And where this was pretty much, although she was an ensemble herself in this movie, she was really the main character. So this
hmm
could have been the opportunity to really look at her in a different light, like you did with Joaquin Phoenix. But at that point, this was already the second
Right.
movie. This wasn't a brand new, look at this character. It was just a continuation of another movie and within this movie. So she did great. I agree, but you can't compare her to. It's an unfair comparison to Joaquin Phoenix's Joker.
Well, I think I would compare her to Robert Downey Jr. Playing Iron Man.
I agree.
At no point do I feel like anybody else is going to embody the character as well right now.
I agree.
So, but
Yeah.
there's three scenes I'm going to want to three emotional based scenes in this movie I'm going to want to talk about as we come to them. And one of them is the Margot Robbie scene where she's talking to Black Canary.
Okay.
And so it's probably about halfway through the movie, and she's on her breakup night, and she's getting drunk at the bar, and she runs into Black Canary,
hmm
and she starts talking to Black Canary about what a Harlequin is, and there's a moment when Black Canary walks away, and you get this kind of close up of Margot Robbie, and she's kind of breaking down,
hmm
and I think the acting in that moment is really what sold me. It's one thing to play the crazy, it's one thing to be bubbly and kind of nutty, but that emotional breakdown as well as those other things is really what sold me on her performance above and beyond other performances.
I would.
Yeah. I mean, it's. Oh, sorry. Go ahead,
No,
Tim.
go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it's like what I said about Joaquin's portrayal of Joker. Like you could see it in his face. I think I saw the same thing here.
Mm-hmm.
Like in certain moments where like she realized, okay, I gotta save this girl, or I'm not doing the right thing here.
Yeah, when she felt bad about betraying man, why is my brain not working?
Okay. I was gonna add
Sorry.
to Mike when you before the fact that when she found out that the restaurant guy that she was living above had to betray her,
Yeah.
and you could
Mm-hmm.
see her face.
Yeah.
There was like a pregnant
Yes.
pause there
Yes.
that was way too
Right.
long, but just to let you, the audience, see like how hurt she is before she said anything.
Yep.
And I was like, this is great. This is great for her as the
And the
actress.
thing,
It's great for her as a character.
and when they were talking about it, like, and he was saying, it's
Just
just about the
business.
money, right? It's just business. It wasn't personal, and you could see there too, like you could see, like or at least from my point of view, it looked like there was a second where she was like, "I'm gonna kill this
Yes.
guy," and then she was
Yes.
like, "No, I can't."
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. And that pregnant pause that I just mentioned, it left you, the
Mm-hmm.
audience, thinking, "Whoa, how's she gonna take this? How hurt is she? Is she
Mm-hmm.
gonna,
Yeah, because she could
kill
go
this
any
dude?"
way, definitely. and yet she's still able to share a Twizzler with a hyena. I mean,
Bruce,
that's some range.
Bruce Wayne, the hyena.
So next, I want to talk about Rosie Perez was a surprise for me. She got a lot of screen time, pretty close to the second most to Harley herself, and her character was interesting. I mean, the last time I think I saw Rosie Perez was White Men Can't Jump, and I know she's been around since then, but that's
Oh
the last
yeah,
time I really
Pineapple
remember her.
Express.
Right.
Pineapple Express.
And
There was one.
she was none of that. She was
No.
she was deep. She was a harder cop. She was pissed off. The T-shirt was hysterical. But she really, I felt she did a great job here that I wasn't expecting. She was probably the least of what I was expecting from the character actors.
In my opinion, she was one of the negatives of this movie, and I don't know we
No.
haven't gotten to negatives, but
Okay.
I think
Do tell.
I think her character left and again, this is the reason why I'm not giving this movie higher than a B minus because I understand Margot Robbie was the main focus, whether there was a purpose or not, and she had a lot of heavy meat in this movie to digest. But then everyone else to me felt like to the wayside, and Rosie Perez being probably the number one victim of that because she, like you said, she had a lot of screen time. She had the most out of everyone else, other than maybe even Ewan McGregor, and she had very little. Like the one scene where she was getting drunk already because the captain was dismissing her from the case, and then she just
Yeah.
like flipped, like I'm gonna figure this on my. I'm like, wait, what? They haven't shown us anything where she goes rogue yet, up until that moment. So now I just gotta suspend disbelief and realize that she's so after 20 years, whatever it was, since the captain of the squad had used her case and rise through the ranks, and she's been quietly, taking it for all these years. Now she's finally gonna flip the switch and say, I had enough. I'm taking the law in my hands. Like, okay, whatever. Suspend disbelief. That's fine. But then every other action she's done throughout the movie, when she was telling Black Canary, "I knew your mom. She used your powers for good," and she wasn't convincing or persuasive in that little action
No,
sequence.
yeah,
So,
she didn't. I didn't feel that
but
either.
the
That
thing,
degree.
but in the
Yeah.
back of my mind, I was always thinking it's not her fault. I know she can deliver better lines and better action sequences than this. It's just that this movie really is not featuring her that much. It's really focusing on Margot, and Margot's great acting with Harley Quinn. So I couldn't really blame her, but it took away from the movie. I mean, and then the other Birds of Prey, which we'll get into, was even less and less.
Well, it's hard to play. I think a straight character against the backdrop of all these big characters is what I would
Yeah.
say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at times.
It really. I mean, what else? What else are you gonna do besides grumble and pull your gun and
And drink.
right and drink? It doesn't look. It's not portraying the same, and it's especially it's not like she was portrayed as a cop who's on the edge and he's gonna shoot at the first sign of trouble. No, she was still a good cop. It was just slightly annoyed.
Right.
All right, so let's talk about Black Canary, Dina Lance, Journey Smollett Bell. So they portray her as a singer in the club, Black Mass Club, until she is saves Harley and is promoted to a driver, and then we see that she has a heart, and she betrays Black Mask in order to save the kid.
By the way,
What did you guys think of her performance here?
that was one of the dark scenes that for the first time I was like, "Where's this movie? How far is this movie gonna take it?" When Harley Quinn was basically looked like she's about to be date raped, and then
Mm-hmm.
Dina's out there and she does the whole "it's not my business" try to get involved, and she looks
Yeah.
back, she does a couple back takeaways, and then she finally gets involved. To me that was great that the way they made it seem like A, she didn't run immediately into like, "Oh, I'm gonna be a hero and save her," because
Mm-hmm.
or B, she didn't ignore it, which would have been just as bad. But the fact that they
Right.
showed the mental, anguish in her trying to figure out whether she wants to get involved or not, and
It
then
seemed like it seemed like everybody had internal conflict in this movie, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm,
And I think that was a great way of really introducing her character outside of just the conversation she was having with Harley earlier in the nightclub,
Yeah.
but also seeing her there and also in action. To me was a great way of introducing her. And again, I think much like every other ensemble piece outside of Margot and Ewan McGregor, she didn't have as much as I would have loved for her to have to really showcase her acting chops and her character's characteristics. But I think she probably had more than Rosie Perez.
Yeah, I agree. My only issue with the character was about them not showcasing her power until like in the end, basically, right? Like they hinted at it with the glass in the bar, but you
But
know,
that was the whole discussion she had with Renee Montoya. Was she didn't want to use her powers? She didn't want to be a hero. She hated. She didn't think heroes were as good as they say they are. She didn't think the cops were as good as they say they are. So she's
yeah,
willing to just and not be that. She didn't want to use it. She didn't want to be a part of that.
Yeah,
I think that's. I mean that scene could have been a bit stronger. It wasn't bad. I thought the scene kind of got the point across,
yeah,
but it was definitely because of what the movie was. It's a quick, go to the bathroom, you'll miss this really important part about
right.
this character. So yeah, but her action scenes were fantastic.
yeah, they were. They were. She was good.
Um, Mary Elizabeth Winstead playing the Huntress. Now she of the group of the heroes, she got the least amount of screen time, but she also got a full backstory from Harley Quinn.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I think she got besides Harley, got the most like information shared, right?
Yeah, because
You know what I
Right,
mean?
because they
the diamonds
it was
the whole
kind
diamonds that they were trying to chase actually ultimately came back to her family. So she was
right.
tied
Right.
in the plot, the plot as well. Not just as
Hmm.
because she's a huntress, but because it stemmed from her backstory, which they explained to us on screen.
Yeah, which is her family being murdered by another mafia. Her family is a mafia family for those who don't know.
Hmm.
And she was a kid when a rival mafia gang murdered her family. She luckily survived, and one of the rival mafia, what do you call them, the henchmen, saved her and brought her to Italy to get to be raised and trained. And then when she grew up, she came back for revenge, right?
Yeah, but everybody on her hit list was part of Ewan
Yeah.
McGregor's family.
So, what
Hmm.
did you guys think of playing that character off as? And I thought she did a good job of it. As yeah, she's this awesome revenge killer, but she doesn't talk to people, so she's just kind of trying to, you know, become a superhero, but she doesn't know how to do it because she doesn't interact with people. Did you find that funny? Like when she was in the mirror and she's trying to say her line, and she's trying to get people to recognize her, her superhero name as opposed to the crossbow killer. Do you guys like that stuff?
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
I mean, I thought that was
I
funny.
enjoyed it. Yeah.
I did. I thought that was funny, but I don't think you said earlier about her trying to become a superhero. I don't. I definitely don't think that's what she was really trying to go for. I think she had a mission
No.
and killing off the people that had eliminated her family. The fact that it may have coincided her becoming here at the end is a tall
Is
leap.
not what she was aiming
Yeah,
for.
huge leap. But I did like the way that the actress played her character as being a little bit socially awkward. And maybe it's because her
Hmm.
backstory growing up in Italy and not really being American, or just the way she interacted with the larger group, when they got trapped in the carnival. I thought that was pretty hilarious. But again, like I wish I've seen more of her throughout the movie because they kept giving you like her in the shadows and her
Yes. Yes.
like this badass, but not really getting to know her until it was already like you're 2/3 into the movie.
That's what I was gonna say too. Is why I gave it like a B. It's like I definitely wanted to see more of the Huntress in the movie. I
I mean,
mean,
there was a
more.
lot of groundwork here that they could have developed if they had more.
Yeah.
Maybe the movie should have been longer. I don't know. Maybe it's not the fact that Margot
How
was a
long was the
star.
movie? I don't
Maybe
even
it
know.
was not
it
long
was
enough to
short.
show.
Let me see. 149. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Maybe for like a
yeah,
two
that's kind
hour
of short
10 or 2 hour
for yeah.
15, you could have really had some additional stories with Rosie and the Huntress where you can say, hey, this is how we could develop this character within a single movie, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I digress.
So, all right. So then the last of the group, we'll talk about Cassandra Cain, Ella J.
Yeah.
Basco. Apparently, she's the niece of Rufio, from what I hear.
In the comics or in the movie?
No, no.
Rufio,
Sorry.
Rufio.
The actor who plays Rufio in the book,
Yeah.
the actual actress
Uh,
is his niece. Sorry, I thought it was interesting. Anyway, about the character in the movie we're talking about. So she plays a pickpocket, and she pickpockets the wrong pocket, and she's chased, and she's basically the object that's trying to be saved or gotten. I think she did a fine job.
yeah, she's a pickpocket who swipes the diamond, right?
Right.
And then when she gets arrested, she swallows it.
Right. So the other scene I wanted to talk about, the other emotional scene that I thought was really good, was actually her scene, and that was so they make it to the carnival. She thinks, well, Harley was trying to sell her back to
Oh,
save
yeah,
herself,
that scene.
right?
Hmm.
And she comes out with the gun, and she's mad at everybody, and blah blah blah. And then they find out that Black Mass comes with the entire army, basically, right?
Hmm.
And you see the fear in her eyes when it changes from, hey, I'm going to get out of here, to, holy shit, I'm dead here. And I think that was some really choice acting from her.
Mm.
It was
I mean,
another one of those scenes that
if you
stuck
really
out to
want
me.
to talk about
Yeah.
Cassandra Cain, I think, the actress looks like she definitely can be a an actress in a heavier movie. I just didn't think this role was for her. I didn't think they really well. If you go to the comics, she's definitely not Cassandra Cain because she grows
No,
up.
right, exactly.
So if I
Right.
spend
Definitely one of those characters they just grabbed the name that they.
exactly say, hey, you guys, but I mean, the character went from being like the pickpocket, mischievous little kid to like, I mean,
I can barely hear you,
I
Jim.
said the character went from being
Oh, there you
the mischievous little kid to like, oh, I'm mature, I know my way around Gotham, to like, oh, please help me, I'm a dame in need, to like, I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm in the middle of this climactic battle sequence, just being like a Benny Hill uh,
Mm-hmm.
go.
joke machine. Uh, I think
Right.
again, it's definitely not the actress's fault, but I think the way they wrote this character just didn't help at all, and it almost could have been taken out of the entire movie and just not have her character and find another way to to explain the diamonds themselves being misplaced. Would have been better.
Well, she had another point in that even though she was the courier for the diamond being misplaced, she was also a story point for Margot Robbie, or for Harley Quinn, where she first takes her in and she's treating her nice, and nobody else is treating this girl this nice, and she's shopping and she feels a connection, and Harley Quinn's starting to feel like, oh, maybe I can connect with people. And then, Harley Quinn goes, and she decides that to save herself by using the kid, and then she's got to switch back the other way. And so it's that relationship
I get that,
between
Chris.
the
But Chris,
two.
let me offer something, an alternative to that,
Mhm.
because if you guys have been able to start watching the Harley Quinn series, and something popped in my head they could have used as part of this story is if you eliminate Cassandra Cain character, you keep the hyena and the stuffed animals that Margot was talking that Harley was talking to, and it introduced the fact that she has a photo of herself pre Harley Quinn, where she's having a full
Mhm.
psychological conversation about herself and trying to figure out where does she go now without the Joker. What's her next steps going to be? That to me would have been a huge plus on the character because you're having the character psychoanalyze herself and emancipating herself, not like through experience or through anyone else, but through her own intelligence that she's actually coming to her wits about how she can better take care of herself. To me, that would have been a not only a great story because imagine they show you an alternate version of her talking to her in a mirror, but also great to see her as a character being developed as opposed to like a secondary character that's there just so she can kind of like evolve on her own through the experience of having the character having to take care of that character. I think that would have been a better way of doing it than using because at the character Cassandra Cain herself, she doesn't really get developed that much. So she doesn't
No,
really,
she does.
so she's not bringing anything more to the movie other than being a plot device for Harley. And in Harley, it is shown still kind of a little bit of a crutch on her situation as opposed to her own inner like analysis. And that would have been a great, to me, in my mind, a better story if she was able to like self-evolve by having her talk to herself and talk to even that would have been funny if the hyena started talking to her because she was like so confused, or one of the stuffed animals. That's
The beaver,
their
the
beaver.
stuffed beaver.
Just like just
Yeah.
imagine that, because then it gives you the flavor of her being crazy, but also
Right.
incredibly intelligent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see more of that. If we do manage to get another Harley Quinn movie, I would like to see some of that self analysis.
Yeah.
Well, when we get to the television show, uh, a little bit of that goes on. All right. So, what did you guys think of Victor Zaz, Chris Messina? Basically,
Creepy.
creepy
Creepy.
henchman
Creepy.
guy.
Man, and I think he had like this crush on Black Mask, right? It was
Yeah,
some
there was
more.
some hints of
There
Uh,
was
that.
something to it.
Again, I know the internet is not going to lie to me. I Someone said that there was an early draft where they were going to make Roman and Victor gay,
Yes, there was.
Okay. Well,
and
they were.
and they
It
and then
seemed like they were hint.
they kind
Yeah.
of just they backed off on it.
Yes,
They didn't go through with it.
because of
Mhm.
the backlash from people.
Well, it seemed like they were hinting at it throughout the movie,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Well, Victor literally
at least,
says, "I have to protect him. I have to
yeah.
keep him safe." So he's definitely playing that role.
Chris, there was a
But
backlash from the toxic fandom that is parts of DC because basically that would hint that Black Mask's character is gay, and although his character is not gay in the comics, some folks couldn't accept that in a movie. So I think DC towed the line a little bit on this one by still trying to show there was hints of like a more than just a social workman type relationship between the two, but without
Hmm.
going out there and saying it all out.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about him, but he definitely I felt the creepiness, I felt his violence, you know.
But yo, that actor, I don't know if you guys ever watched the Mini Project. He was one of the mains on there,
No, I didn't
and
watch it.
yeah, and coming like if you ever seen his past work, like his portrayal of this character is fantastic. Like, when you look at compared to the other stuff he's done,
Mhm.
it should really show some range on him.
And again, he doesn't get a lot to do but be that creepy, but I think that that one speech where he says he has to protect Black Mask really kind of did it
Hmm.
for me. It gave me a
Yeah,
little bit of extra on him.
yeah. I think I really want to credit the director here for how she drove the actors to their performance.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of performance, I do want to end the discussion of characters with Ewan McGregor because man, did I feel his Black Mask character.
Yeah, oh
Man, that
yeah.
dude had the high
I
ground
just
the entire
watched.
movie.
I just watched. Do you guys remember A Life Less Ordinary with him and Cameron Diaz
No,
I probably didn't watch it.
no.
from the late '90s, early 2000s? You got to see that movie because that shows a lot of range on from Ewan McGregor too. What a good actor he
Oh,
is.
we've been you that.
Yeah,
Well,
but definitely like
mhm.
you can see if you want to get an idea of not crazy but emotional, check out that movie.
Well, that's actually what I was gonna say because I was listening to some reviews of this movie, and someone was basically like, "Hey, this is a why did they just put the Joker in there? This was just Joker." And I'm like, "No, no, 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 no. He was playing an emotionally unstable psychopath. It's completely different than what I think of when I think of the Joker.
Well, let me ask you.
His
Go ahead. You finish and
yeah,
I ask you a
go.
question.
I was just gonna say his flamboyance
Yeah.
was good and it was interesting, and then his shift when he felt that he was being lied to or anything like that was just sharp and dangerous, and you felt that. So go
Well,
ahead,
even
James.
the snot bubble incident by itself, right?
Right.
That's one scene in the club when he flipped. Because I think you guys know I had
Yeah.
my little son with me watching the movie, and I was like, yeah, so far this is not that bad. He's seen worse. Then when he kind of takes that one female patron and starts telling her, she's laughing at him and she really wasn't,
Mm-hmm.
and take off your clothes and trying to embarrass her in the club. And I'm sitting there like, how far are they gonna take this? This is like demeaning,
Yeah.
demoralizing, degrading, you name it all. And I'm sitting there like, oh, did I? This is the part that I don't want my son to see. Like,
Right.
what's gonna happen next? But it takes you there, like so close to that edge of this guy being maniacal and evil, but not quite as I guess as you would have. That was the same thing with the Joker. So
Yeah, you would.
But the difference. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Mike.
I was just going to say the difference between the Joker and Black Mask is Black Mask wants power and notoriety. He wants to be the king. Joker doesn't want to be the king. Joker just wants to be Joker. Or am I wrong?
no,
Well, it depends. There's different types of Jokers around in this universe. I mean, I guess if you take the Jared Leto Joker, he plays more of a weird, you know, gangsterish style.
Yeah, but we don't really even get to see
Right.
like
yeah.
But
his
I mean,
motivations.
what I was
But
saying more
let's
before
go.
was there's means and there's motives. Motives in this case, we can't
Yeah.
really compare Black Mass's motives to what he was doing in that club to what the Joker would be doing. But the means themselves are just both as scary. Like you could see the Joker doing that, where everybody's like at their like edge of their nails. Like, what's he gonna do? Is he gonna force him to do something to her, like in front of everyone here? Like, whereas the Black Mask, it's like, okay, is he doing this because he feels like he was embarrassed by her and he wants to make it a lesson to everyone else in the club? That's the difference that I was really trying to get at the two. And
yeah, I see the Joker in that same situation, joining in the laughter and trying, kind of forcing everybody else
yes,
into a laughter.
yes,
Whereas he wanted he suddenly he went from, hey, everybody's having fun, I'm enjoying it, everybody should be having fun at my club, to I'm not having fun, no one can have fun right now.
See, but if I look at what I consider an accurate portrayal, like if you take Joaquin's Joker, if you take Heath's Joker, they wouldn't be in that club in the first place.
Well, that's yeah. I don't think Joaquin's.
That's not their scene,
No, it's
right?
not. It's not. I think a good Joker for this is, if you watch the animated series, I think that Joker fits this quite well. He
Yeah, yeah.
he doesn't care about the scene. He doesn't care
Right.
about people enjoying themselves. I think, this Black Mask really wants to be the guy everybody comes to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're he wanted the other mobs to come to him and kind of be,
Right.
secondary to him.
That's why I
Yeah,
say
did
he
he kill
wants the
like a whole
power, right?
family of?
Hmm.
Yeah, he killed like the Asian mob. He killed like another mob. He
Mm-hmm.
consolidated himself.
Right, but he was willing to let them do what they will as long as they came and were kind of under him. That's not a Joker thing. So
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, James, that scene you talk about is definitely the third emotional scene I was talking about, where
Mm.
he just Ewan McGregor just embodied a fear, and evil in a moment that you didn't even have to see them cutting faces off or anything like that. It was great acting in that moment. All right. Anything you guys want to call out about this movie? I want to call out the whole chase car scene with the roller skates. I think that was
Yeah.
inventive and fun, and
Yes, enjoyable. Yes.
a little superhero-ish. They let the Harley character do crazy acrobatic things, and it was fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. And then yeah, the whole bike scene, yeah, with Huntress, and see they brought Huntress in to help out. I thought that was good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was enjoyable. And what else? The
The
whole fight scene in the funhouse was good. I enjoyed that.
I I actually liked the gag of when everybody first found out that uh, she wasn't with the Joker anymore, and everybody was like, "What is their problem?" And their
Right.
face would come up and it'd tell you
Uh-huh.
their name and what grievance they had.
Yes,
That was
yes.
fun.
A little data card.
I mean, I think we all kind of like the movie, and we would recommend seeing it if you haven't seen it yet. Unfortunately, it didn't make a ton of money. Had a really uh, uninspirational opening weekend. I think it's with its large international money, it's going to break about even with. So not all good movies
Yeah.
make money.
So no, but it should do well. Especially, I think it'll do well on streaming release as well. So
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Um, so I think we're gonna switch over. We're gonna talk about the Harley Quinn animated TV show. So Harley Quinn animated television show on the DC streaming network.
SU.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not the DCFU.
No.
Right. All right. So this one is creators Justin Halpern, Dean Lorey, Patrick Schumer. I have no idea who any of these people are.
No, don't know any of them.
Starring Kaylee Cuoco. As Harley Quinn? You know her from lots of geek television, but specifically, um, I almost said Third Rock from the Sun, and I know that's not correct. It's
The Nerd Show.
I'm singing the song in my head, trying to get to the chorus.
The Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory, yes.
Yeah.
Lake Bell as Poison Ivy. Alan Tudyk as Clayface. Great.
Yes, fantastic.
We're talking about Harley Quinn.
Yes, we're talking about Harley Quinn. We're doing a general breakdown.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Ron Funches as King Shark. Tony Hale as Dr. Psycho. Jason Alexander as Cy Borgman, the guy in the wheelchair. JB Smoove, Frank the Plant.
He's in this too.
He's so good as Frank.
Frank the Plant. Diedrich Bader plays Batman, a fantastic Batman, if you ask me.
Yeah.
And the only other one I want to point out, where is he? Where's the?
Who?
Did I miss it? The Joker. Joker.
Oh, you know why? You're looking at the cast listing?
Yeah.
Who is that? Definitely not Mark Hamill.
No, it's because the. Are you looking on IMDb?
Yeah.
It's slashed out probably because somebody's playing multiple roles.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So we got to find who's.
Oh,
I thought it was. I thought it was Tudyk, but let me see.
I can't resize the columns big enough.
Yeah, it's Alan Tudyk plays the Joker as well.
Really, Alan Tudyk plays the Joker as well.
Yeah, click on his name by the cast listing and then scroll down to you'll see it there. Because I thought the voice was familiar. Because if you ever watch Doom Patrol and the Mr. Nobody, he plays Mr. Nobody on that,
right.
And the voice is similar.
Wow, well, he's doing a great job on both of those.
Oh man, he's killing it on DC's streaming universe.
Right. So, so this is another series that's basically built on Harley Quinn breaks up with the Joker. It is what the character is basically known for right now.
These days,
yeah. But it really is a interesting, very full storyline that you can take in multiple directions, because everybody's had a breakup, and doing that in a comic book in such a big fashion is really an interesting story that you can go a couple ways. Now, this is a rated R animated
Yeah,
series.
this ain't your
Boy, was
kid's
I
Batman
was not prepared for
cartoon.
this.
Right. This is more rated R than any of the rated R comic book movies you've seen. Uh,
I
more
think this was more rated R than a movie.
right,
Than
Oh yeah, but
language,
you know what?
violence,
But you
blood.
know what's interesting is that only the bad guys curse in this.
No, because Doctor
Oh,
Psycho drops the big C word multiple times.
oh,
That's
not
He's
why.
a
yet.
bad guy though. I'm not.
Well, they're
but
all
Batman,
bad guys. They're
no,
all
but
bad
but
guys.
Gordon is a
but
bad guy. I'm like, the hell's
no,
wrong with this dude?
but the Justice League. Listen, it was specifically written that only the the criminals would curse because that's something they would do in the real world, whereas the superheroes
Oh, I get it.
wouldn't.
Okay. I get
So
that.
they don't.
That's trash.
So Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman, they don't use swear words
That
in
is
this show.
trash.
Okay, I get that.
Yeah.
I thought you meant. I was like, because everybody's a bad guy. Of course, all of them.
Yeah. No. I'm talking about
That
when
is
Batman
trash.
shows up. He
We're
doesn't.
good
Yeah.
guys. We're not gonna curse.
James, have you seen any of the Superman stuff yet?
Not since Red Son of Krypton.
No. In this
In this
show.
show.
Oh no, I have not. I
They-
have not.
Oh
They-
Maybe
man,
the Justice.
episode two.
Yeah, the Justice League shows up to help. So.
Superman is fantastic. He's like this giant Boy Scout. Like,
Yeah.
it's funny. The
He's
char-
like.
so
He's like what's his name on The Boys if he wasn't
a murderer.
devious. Yeah, a murderer. Yeah.
Wait, no, the way he portrays
He's like the
himself.
public persona of that guy.
Yes, there you go.
Right.
Yeah.
Of Homelander. That's what you're looking for.
Right, Homelander.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Homelander.
So let's talk about. I think the funniest part about this show isn't that everybody's cursing and it's bloody and stuff. It's the interesting portrayals of the different characters. So Harley Quinn is playing a Harley Quinn you would expect. It's very similar to the movies. She's brash. She's swears. She's trying to psychoanalyze herself, and that's where she kind of differs, and where James later on in the series, we're doing spoilers by the way.
Mhm.
Uh-oh, time for me to leave? Okay.
Where you
Go ahead,
actually
go ahead.
see in her brain, and she talks to herself, the separate personality of the Dr. Harleen Quinzel and Harley
Yes.
Quinn actually
Yes.
interact and psychoanalyze each other.
And that's the point I was trying to make without knowing all this.
Right.
The movie. That would have been great, but go ahead.
And so contrasting this Harley, this bigger than life character, and they use Poison Ivy. Poison Ivy plays the straight man in this comedy. She has a lot of kind of dry humor, and she's a great character. She's funny, she's interesting, but she's the straight man to Harley Quinn's comedy.
Yeah, in this she's trying to find her place in the world, right?
Well, she
After breaking up with the Joker.
yeah, that's the whole thing for Harley Quinn, and Poison Ivy a little bit as well, because she doesn't feel that she's a villain.
Right.
She's Harley Quinn is trying to get everybody to recognize her as her own villain, not just the Joker's right hand. But Poison Ivy, everybody wants her. Everybody thinks she's a great villain, superpowers, but she doesn't want that. She thinks she's a tree hugger, for lack of a better word. She just wants to be.
She's an eco warrior.
Right. She doesn't.
Yeah.
She just wants to protect the Earth, and she doesn't think she's a bad guy for doing that.
Yeah.
And-
So what if you kill a few dozen people along the way, right?
Well, the storylines in this show are interesting because it goes through first just Harley breaking up and trying to prove herself, her trying to get a group, her own team together, her going back to the Joker, her going into the League of, what's the league's name?
Wait, which league?
The Legion of Doom.
Legion of Doom.
Legion of Doom.
Yeah.
Legion of Doom.
Yeah, her trying to get into the Legion of Doom, and then her fighting basically the end of the Joker. So the show goes through these little mini storylines, never feeling like you've left like the larger story behind, but it weaves through pretty interesting. So right now, James, in the first 2 episodes, you're really in this Harley breakout mode. I think as you get along, you'll like it better.
Yeah, as the team comes together,
Mhm.
it gets a lot better.
I mean, I like what I've seen so far. I just gotta make the time to commit and watch it in groups. I can't just do one episode. I gotta commit and get at least 2 or 3
Right.
together.
some of the other really funny characterizations, the Clayface character as a thespian, like a Shakespearean actor.
Yes.
That's
And the fact
yeah.
that it's so funny because the fact that he shapeshifts, like I could understand the drive to want to be a performer
Mm-hmm.
because he's a shapeshifter. So he changes his look and goes, I need to change my personality to go with this look. So ta-da, you know what I mean?
and his need to create large backstories
You're
unnecessarily.
right.
Wait, which character is this?
Clayface.
Clayface.
I'm not there
They,
yet.
they
I
really
like
they
Titan
really
Man.
delve into Clayface. Like I don't think any other show has done it yet with Clayface. Any other DC show, right? And I love the part. Sorry, Jim. This is a slight spoiler when he can't hold his. You know what I'm talking about?
The Batman is Batman.
Yeah. You'll see. It's really funny when you see it.
So let's talk about the Joker's characterization in this, because I think it's a really interesting mix, and I really like Alan Tudyk's take here. Because you got this character who's obsessive controlling as well as just being your crazy clown prince of crime kind of thing. He's looking to make bigger and bigger shows and always trying to make sure everybody praises him for what he's doing. And I think it's a real interesting characterization because he gets really pissed at Harley and he's constantly using her to get away from Batman. But then when she leaves him, he does everything in his power to prevent her from being out on her own. And closer to the end of the season, he doesn't want to kill her. He doesn't want anybody killing her. He just wants to make her life miserable so she'll come back to him.
Yeah,
So,
I gathered that in the first 2 episodes, especially
Right.
the one part when she was like, "You don't love me, you really love him," and they show Batman. I was like, "Oh my god, it's like Lego,
Yeah.
like Lego Batman over here." But that was great. That was good.
My favorite Scarecrow bit is when Harley is been invited to go to the Legion headquarters, and Scarecrow is giving them a tour of the Legion headquarters,
Yeah.
and he goes, "By the way, we stand for the anthem here."
Yeah.
Oh, that's messed up. That's messed up. Come on, man. What's happening to do to them?
So yeah, that's the kind of humor here. They do. It's hard to explain the show without just sitting here and these off-color jokes, mixed in with an interesting Harley trying to overcome some sexism, some bad relationship, and
You know, I for some reason I thought going into this, and I'm still behind you guys, that there was gonna be some like terrible SJW type messages here and super woke stuff and down with the dudes and all this stuff. I didn't get
But there
that from
isn't.
watching.
No.
well,
I didn't get that at all.
there is, but it's not the dark Terminator Dark Fate surface level stuff. So when Harley meets the story, what's the storyteller? What's her name?
With an Ivy?
Queen of Fables.
No, Queen of Fables.
Oh my bad.
Yeah.
So there's a group
Wanda
of,
Sykes, by the way.
yeah, Wanda Sykes
Wow.
plays the Queen of Fables.
Another great character.
So hey, you said you didn't care about spoilers. I don't want to hear it.
I was wrong.
So you'll get to know this. The Queen of Fables is basically the one female bad guy who's gotten to the point that the Joker and Bane and all these other guys, and basically she complains that she was giving a harsher sentence than everybody else.
Well, she got so. Here's the thing. She
she's
got
trapped-
so evil.
She was trapped
Yeah,
in
the
a
Legion
storybook.
banished her. Yeah.
No, the Justice League.
Oh, the Justice League. Yeah.
Banished her into
No,
a
but
storybook.
but I thought it was. Am I remembering wrong? The Legion, even the Legion, didn't want anything to do with her.
Well,
'cause
yeah.
She was so evil.
But
Yeah.
basically,
Man,
there's
she was so evil, even though
oh yeah, you'll see her when her evil stuff is evil, man.
Oh yeah.
But there's an understory to the, hey, I was the one female who was able to get to their level, and they all turned on me immediately. So there is
Alright,
that
I
in
get
there.
that. I get that, but it's not.
So
overly
there's a
done right.
glass.
No, the thing with the Harley Quinn team, it's not that, hey, we're women, yay, women power. It just happens to be hey, we're a team, right? It's not about them being women. I don't. At least it doesn't come off like that to
I
me.
don't even care about the hey, we're
Yeah.
women thing. We're a team. But I thought, and maybe I should have made sure I stayed away from certain sites that it was going to be like also bashing at men at the expense of powering the women.
Oh no,
Like, yeah, we're a team, and because guys suck and we're better, and this is how we're gonna do it.
no,
Type
they're
of thing.
calling out things that they find are kind of injustices that they've been exposed to, but it's not some general
Yeah, it's
over.
individual. Like they pointed directly at like Harley points her stuff at Joker, not at men, right?
Gotcha.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, which is
Yeah,
what I'm finding out, and I was like, this is not
yeah.
what I thought this was gonna be from reading the probably the wrong sites, but
And you
it's
can tell by Poison's who she hooks up with that it's not like, you know.
and by the way,
And she,
I like her character so far.
Right.
I know
yeah.
I'm only 2 episodes in, but she's probably my favorite character thus far.
Well,
Mm.
and the whole Doctor Psycho thing is actually hysterical because he's a powered bad guy who gets basically kicked out from everything. Nobody wants anything to do with him because of the way he was treating Wonder Woman and Giganta and the stuff he was saying. So Doctor Psycho's
Right.
dating Giganta, which is hysterical.
That's funny.
But so he's got that crass and Harley basically says, "Look, I'm going to help you get your mojo back and get you back in, but we're going to help you kind of better yourself a little bit and not be such a dick." So, I think I have a really hard time describing this series, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, let me bang out this show so I can give you my full review. But so far, I'm enjoying it so far.
Yeah, and it's definitely better, way better than I expected because I had reservations when I first heard about a animated comedy version of it. I was like, I don't know, but they pull it off. It works. So
Well, and, they keep all the characters fun. So I think of it like almost like an R-rated Batman Brave and the Bold. So that kind of almost Batman 66 kind of goofy comedy,
right.
but with a really hard R twist.
Yeah.
That's good. Me gusta.
All right. I think that we managed to get through our Harley Quinn cast. I don't know how well I said anything about the Harley the the animated series. I feel like I just bounced around.
Definitely, for our listeners, definitely watch it if you can.
Yeah, it's one of those that's harder to describe than to just watch.
Yeah.
But I think the two complement each other. I didn't feel like watching Birds of Prey and the animated series. I didn't feel like there was this huge gap between the characters.
You may hear from me next week after I watch the entire episode and be like, "What are you guys smoking? What the hell is wrong with this show?" It took a weird turn, episode 3.
I'm gonna say good night, guys.
All right.
We're gonna log off. Thank you for joining me as always.
Thank you for having us, Chris.
Problem. Yeah. Thank you.
And we did what James asked. We went 2 hours. Oh wait, you didn't want to go to 2 hours. Damn it! I got that mixed up.